I know this is gonna sound bad, but they named the black character in the film George, and at one point there's a noose around his neck. And it just doesn't... Wait. Is this where Juicy got his idea? What's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the Brother Deconstruction here, and I'm bringing you my super late review for The Final Destination. The Final Destination stars Bobby Campo, Chantel Van Satin, Michael T. Williamson. It came out in 2009, and it's the fourth film in the Final Destination franchise. It's also the only movie in the franchise that was filmed in 3D, which is not a good thing. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Courtney from the editing room. I just wanted to say, I know that the poster that I used for the thumbnail is like the Portuguese version or something like that. But when looking for a transparent logo for the film to use, the only good one that was actually transparent that I found was a foreign language one. So yeah, it's going to be like this for this film as well as the thumbnail for Final Destination 5 as well. Sorry about that. This film isn't good. I'm letting you guys know now. This film isn't good. You can actually skip it. Don't watch it. Nothing in this film is inspired or imaginative at all. There are only maybe one or two cool deaths. This film has a 29% rating with critics on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe. But it's the highest grossing film in the franchise. And I don't know if the 3D filming has something to do with that, because you obviously have to see this film, and you had to have gone to see this film in 3D, and 3D tickets are expensive as hell. And the reason why I say you had to have gone and seen this in the theaters in 3D is because everywhere else the effects look terrible. The 3D effects done for the film and the shots look terrible. I will say probably a couple of the only good takeaways from the film are the opening credits are done in an X-ray style review of previous deaths from the other films. Another one is a couple of the deaths maybe. Andrew Fischella, again, Final Destination cast some actors where it's, you know, difficult to pronounce their names. He plays a mechanic that gets killed in the film after he's propelled by a propane canister into a wire fence, and he kind of gets cheese grated through the fence. And then there's a premonition that Bobby Campo's character Nick has at the end of the film, where Lori, who's played by Chantel Van Satin, she gets kind of eaten by like the inner gears of an escalator. Those are like the only two cool deaths in the film. Other than that, everything else is forgettable. And needless to say, a lot of the film is just forgettable as a whole. A lot of the dialogue most of the dialogue in the film is really, really bad. As in, there's a racist character in the film that tells the black character George, played by Michael T. Williamson,
"Your time's coming, chocolate."
But the little spin pirouette that he does is just cringeworthy as hell. Just in general, a lot of the sentences don't seem like normal sentences. There's a death with a character who's a mom, and her kid, she goes to a hair salon to get her hair done. Her kids kind of cause a big mess. They come in running into the shop. They slip on some type of oil or something like that, hair oil, hair grease, and they're drinking slushies and they spill them everywhere. And she says, as she's telling them to get into the car, she says, "I've got my eye on you two," and then turns around and gets killed after a rock gets shot through her eye. Really? I really wasted 80 minutes of my life watching this film that I will never get back. That's another thing with this film. It's about 82 minutes long. And the funny thing about that is that I was just thinking if there are any movies under 90 minutes about a couple of weeks ago, because I couldn't think of any off the top of my head. But in general, most films are going to be 90 minutes. But When I saw that this was only an hour and 21 minutes long, at that point I remembered why I didn't like it, because I think that's part of the negatives for the film regarding the dialogue. I think because it was such a fast-paced film coming in under an hour and a half, they kind of had to shorten the sentences and the exposition with a lot of stuff and have like unnatural dialogue amongst characters. I will say another cool little thing about the film is that at one point, I believe they're in the cafe, the group of characters are in the cafe, and a news reporter's on, and the cafe has closed captioning on, and the closed caption is delayed to fill out what the reporter is saying on the TV, like real closed captioning does. Like, it's a bit of a delay of what's being said on the screen. Yes, I brought up closed captioning and how accurate it is in the scene. That's how badly I'm grasping at straws here for this film. My biggest negative takeaway from the film isn't the bad acting, it isn't the bad dialogue, it isn't even the length of the film. It's the 3D effect. They don't look good, and they stick out really, really badly. The way that they shot certain scenes in the film, they shot them that way because an object in the film is done in a weird 3D effect, and it's not really there. And it really stands out because you notice scenes that probably have green screen in them, or other scenes, like there's a scene where Andrew's character and Michael T's character are talking and there's a fence between them, the fence that Andrew characters gets stuck in. This fence looks terrible. Oh my God, what the fuck is this? Bobby's character, Nick, gets hints and everything like that, similar to previous films, except he sees these hints, except the effects on them are terrible, as I've said, and they're just random and they don't make any sense. Like when the racist guy dies, which is kind of comical, but that's not in a good way. It dies because how in the hell did he get trapped by his tow truck and dragged down the street? But when he gets that vision, he gets a look at George's front door, which is red. Then he sees a horseshoe. The guy has a horseshoe hanging from his rear view mirror. And then he sees the ball and hook that's on the back of his tow truck. This is all random as hell. How are you supposed to figure out what the fuck is going to happen? The 3D effects are not good, and they don't add anything to the film but make things stand out. Like I said, there were a bunch of times where it was really, really noticeable, and I laughed because of how bad it was. But yeah, overall, like I said at the beginning, guys, you can skip this film entirely. Just don't waste your time. A wise man once said, Hove did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that. I went back and rewatched this film just so you guys wouldn't have to. And I remember why I didn't like it the first time that I saw it. I watched this, I think online, back when I was in college, because I was still in college when it came out. And I think I watched it online. Even then, I didn't like the film. And I remembered why as soon as I started watching it. It's just not good, guys, so don't even waste your time. And then they couldn't even be decent enough to show us the deaths of Janet, Lori, and Nick at the end of the film. It cuts to an x-ray version of their deaths. Nick gets thrown up against the wall and his jaw gets broken. Lori gets thrown into like one of the posts in the building, in the shop, and I think her neck twists around and Janet is run over by the truck. But we don't actually see these deaths. We see them in a 3D x-ray rendering of the deaths. That's lame. Anyway, guys, that's my Super Late review for The Final Destination. I know I don't give bad reviews often, but this is just such a skippable film. Check out our other videos. Check out my Super Late review for Final Destination 3. Be on the lookout for my Super Late review for Final Destination 5. I appreciate the support, whether it's 1, 5, 10, or 100 views. And I'll catch up with you guys later.